Well, I stand corrected. Here I am thinking this thing would sound cheap. Honestly, for $69, it sounds as good as of all the other ones I've tested there, except you get all the extra features, which is kind of cool. It has power. There's no way, I don't know, I'm going to bother testing the power supply because I know the one you plug into the wall, it's got to be more than 12 volts because this thing kicks. I'm not a big fan of the tremble and the bass. I find they kind of lack a little bit. Other than that, it does sound really nice. I'm still going to mod it. It's a given, but I'm kind of blown away. I'll let you hear it real quick. There you go. And that's with the FLoveedio. That's not even the bookshelf speakers. So you pretty much could use this on anything you want. It'll power it, which I'm kind of blown away. I figured I could turn it right till it into saturation and it would distort and everything else. It won't. It's like it does have about the same amount of power as one of these at half the price. So that's pretty cool. Anything else? The Bluetooth, when you turn it on, it does have a little bit of noise because obviously it's missing some of the extra stuff, caps here and there. When you turn it on, you get a little bit of a click. Didn't even do that. Usually it makes a ding sound. Sorry, I did it wrong. Try it again. There is a little bit of noise on the power, so you might want to put a cap on that. There's that. And that. Other than that, it works fine. The radio, I'll let you hear it. It does sound good. We'll let you hear the radio. It's not the best. Okay, that's weird. Even that's starting to sound better. Is there... The radio is pretty clear, but I don't think it's in stereo, and I don't see a stereo button on it. So there's that. It just sounds like mono. Yeah, okay, so the radio does sound pretty clear. But like I said, it does sound like mono. It does, the stereo separation is very low. So there's that. I mean, you're not going to expect much from a digital tuner anyway on a device like this. We're going to, I guess we'll put some MP3s on a stick and see how that plays. Okay, so give you an idea how I got one MP3 on this. The stick is so old and so small, I only got one in it. But to give you an idea how well this works with MP3s, check this out. You pause it from there. So it runs pretty smooth with MP3s. I would like to modify the power in this so I could run a hard drive. I'm pretty sure you basically, give me 1 second. I actually got to check the format of this stick for one thing. Yeah, so there's nothing special about the format on this. It's just FAT. Not FAT32, not NTFS, just FAT. So for me to get this to work on a hard drive, obviously I'd have to format the hard drive in FAT. But yeah, that's pretty cool how quickly that works. You just plug it in. It's good to go. Let's try the SD card and see how that works. Yeah, the SD card should work the same, hopefully. Wow, it's even faster. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm kind of amazed how well everything is working on this thing. It just doesn't look like much on the inside, but it works pretty good. There is definitely room for improvement if they wanted to make it even better. If I was to keep it as is, I definitely would get rid of the line out for the speakers or the terminals. I actually, just to get this to work properly with my setup, I had to make these, which I've been using on other systems. Basically, it's a piece of wire. It's pretty much adaptable to any old gear, which I have. One sec, my cats are fighting. Okay, there is one thing I noticed when I plugged the speaker in. I'm going to have to actually measure the DC offset on these amps, what's coming out. Because when I plug the speaker in, check this out. Bet you the other one does that too. Yeah, so that's not good. There's got to be some milliamps or even a volt coming out of the amp, which is weird. That's a weird problem. Then we're going to see if anything actually comes out of it. Now, like this advertised says it's got full protection, so take it what you will. And that's pretty much what we're getting. Called that. Oops. Just says low. There you go. Yep, that's what's coming out of the amp. We'll try the other one, see what it does. This one we're getting about 7.8, 6.7. Yeah. Interesting. I don't get that on the other Class Ds, so I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it'll pick it up on the camera, but when I plug it in, you can hear a little distortion. Turn it right up, see what it does. Yeah, there's some hiss. I plug it in and let you hear it. Okay, so there is a little harmonic distortion. That's what we're picking up. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so we'll probably need to do some more research on this and like pull it apart, and it's going to take time to test stuff. I'm going to see if I can disable the amp from the preamp and test the amp by itself on a line in, and then test the preamp out without the amp. I need to know if that hissing sound is from the preamp or if it's from the amp. If it's from the preamp, I definitely do not want to put that in. Well, I don't want to add that into my system, because basically what you got there will be double on in a bigger amp. So you don't want hissing and offset voltages and all that crap. So we'll need to pull it apart and definitely do some more testing on it. But like I said, I am blown away how well it works. It's got the power. The amp is amazing considering how small it is. It really doesn't look like much on the inside. The caps and that are, they're there. Inducers are really small. And it definitely needs a cap on the power switch, because when you turn it off, it obviously has a nice click to it. And a click when it comes on too. So, but I mean, considering the price, it actually does work pretty good. Yeah, I guess next we're gonna do is see if we can power a hard drive on it. I think the easiest way we would do it is put an adapter on the actual plug itself to power the hard drive, and just have the data lines hooked up to the inside. This way This is not powering the hard drive. I'm powering it with an adapter, obviously, and we can do some more tests on it. Hey guys, so I've done some more work on this amp, mostly on the USB, just to get it to work with a mechanical hard drive. It may work with an SSD. Mine are all occupied, so like I got tons of these 1 terabytes that are laying around, so I want it to work with the mechanical. Your USB is actually flipped over, so the 5-volt rail will be as close or closer to the power button. On the back of the PCB that holds that the USB is soldered to, all the rails have a resistor. There's only one there that is black, and that's the one that's on the 5-volt rail. You're actually going to remove that or flick it off. The reason for that is I measured the voltage off of this, and the reason why it won't power a mechanical hard drive is because it's only 4.6 volts. I don't know how much an SSD requires to turn over or actually work, so I'm probably going to have to do it. What I've done for now is I got an adapter plugged into the power bar there. It's 5 volts at 2 amp, and it works fine. Well, actually, I'll show you. Like I said, the reason I mentioned the SSD is because it might work with an SSD. I honestly don't know. There you go. Pretty quick, actually. Basically, the wires for the power supply are just soldered right to the actual plug itself. So you're gonna basically, if I can bring you over here and give you some light, that would be nice. Yep. There's a spot there on the board where there's no capacitor, but there's a negative rail that you can solder your negative lead from your power supply to that. And then you're just basically going to take the other positive and just solder it directly to the positive pin on the USB. Eventually what I'll do is I'll take that adapter there, and since there's so much room in this cabinet, I will glue it in there sideways. Set it up with the AC, so when you turn the unit off, it goes off as well, because right now it doesn't, obviously. And shorten the lead, so that'll be part of the unit. And it works great. It'll work great with mechanical hard drives and anything you pretty much plug into it. So I'm quite happy with that. That's as far as I got so far. The other thing I want to try is finding the preamp on the amp and not disabling it, but bypassing the amp, so I can put some RCAs on it, have some leads going out, so I can test it without the amp. I want to see if it's still got the hiss, and if it does, it's pretty much not going to work for me, because I don't want to add that into my signal path. I mean, my unit's pretty quiet at the moment, so. But if everything works out, yeah. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. Give me a minute. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to finish off this before I move on to the next stage. I need to shorten the leads. And we can probably just glue this in like this. Like that. And then what we'll do is we'll put solder 2 wires to this, shrink wrap it, and glue it down like that. That should be fine. Okay, so let's measure up the wire. Definitely want to leave all this wire in here. Sorry about the lighting in here. I honestly need better lighting. Got these lights off of Amazon, and they're about a year old, and I've noticed them starting to dim. So yeah, you can get cheap LEDs. Alright, let's tint these up. You know what? Let me see if I can get some better lighting here. There, now you guys can see better, and so can I. So we're just going to quickly tint this up so they stick. Oh, double check your polarity too, so you don't blow anything up. I tend to plug something cheap into it just in case, but I haven't blown anything up yet. On this adapter, you would think this white line would be positive or negative. That's actually positive, what I'm seeing here. Yep, so. Let me double check those with a loop because I can't, I need glasses, so did pretty good considering. Alright, so let's reuse the wire from the adapter for the plug. I don't think we have to make this very long. Doesn't matter on the polarity on this, it's AC. Just have to make sure that when we turn the power off, the adapter goes off with it. Ugh. Okay. That didn't stick very well, did it? There we go. Nope. Need a hotter iron, I think, but don't want to have to go downstairs and get it, but I gotta get shrink wrap anyway. Start turning this up. It's already up all the way. There it goes. Oh my God, seriously? There it goes. Problem is the pin drags all the heat in, it takes forever to cool down. It is sticking to it, it's just Can't move it until it's totally dry or totally cooled down. There we go. All right, I'm going to have to run downstairs and get my shrink wrap. And then we'll find out where to tap these in. I'm pretty sure this is already fused, so you don't have to go off the fuse. I might do it anyway. I'm not a big fan of the shrink kit that I got. It's kind of limited on size. You get one that's too small or one that's too big, so we'll just go with the big one. I'm not going to bother cutting them down. Well, maybe I will. I'm going to jab into other things in there. That's the one I wanted. And shrink them. Doesn't have to be perfection. Yeah, it is a little big, but what are you going to do? There, ready to go. Let's quickly tint these. That way we can find a place to stick them. All right, give me a minute. I'm going to have to pick it up and take a look at it, see which is going where. And I don't want to do this without taking it apart, basically. So I'm not actually going to go off the fuse because, like I said, this is probably already fused internally. And I don't want to add extra load to that fuse because it may pop it. It's not really the type that you can service, so it'd be a pain in the butt to take out. It actually looks like a light bulb. So what we'll do is we'll go off the end before it comes off the wall. There we go. It's nice and tight. And the other one will probably go on a lead on the switch, which I'll have to figure out. Okay, so it didn't work out as exactly how I wanted planned. I ended up putting the one lead on this side of the jack, and the other side that's in line with the fuse that goes to the switch, and then when it comes back, it goes to the board that powers the board, so I ended up putting it there. So, you know, it's not the way I wanted it because now the board or the amp and the adapter is on that little fuse. If that fuse does pop, what I'll do is I'll drill a hole here, put an actual screw type fuse in here, and just solder it to the board. But I don't think it will. I guess we'll find out when we power it up for the first time. But that'll do for that mod. Let's give it a quick test. See if it actually fires up. Later, once it's done, next is to figure out where the preamp comes out on this thing. Move you up. I got this right, or it blows up. No, it didn't blow up. Tried something cheap in it. Worked right away. See that? flashing light. So the power supply works. It didn't blow up or blow the fuse, so it's powered internally now. Next is the preamp. Let's see how we can get that. So you guys remember this chip here that we thought was the amp or preamp? It is not. Actually, it is a wideband range, 30 megahertz is suitable application for active filter and equalizer amplifier. Basically, it's for the tone controls. All that is for the tone controls. What I do see over here on the wiring is it basically says mute R1 AGM L1 ground 5 volt 12 volt. I don't know why they give 5 volts because it's definitely not that. But I'm hoping maybe we could just tap into there and just go off the L and the R. That's your input for the output for the preamp. But the thing is, if it's totally digital, it might not work that well. We probably might even be able to go right off the pot. That's another idea without even touching the wiring. I actually prefer going out the pot because we can just solder wires directly to the actual pins on the back. This is where it's going to be difficult. I need to do this without actually taking it apart physically, which I'm going to probably have to do anyway. I'll have to take this board out so I can disable these. But what I'll do for now is I'll make a set and then solder them directly to the board and let them hang out just so I can at least test to see if it has the harmonic distortion and the hum and the hiss that it had before. So anyway, let me get an RCA set up and then we'll find somewhere to solder to. Okay, so yeah, it sounds pretty damn good. The way I got it set up is the ground for the RCA goes to the side of the pot, which is already a ground there. Just go off of that. And there's two resistors in line with that pot. You'll see them. I don't know if I can give you a shot of it with this. You can see them in line. They're like facing towards the back of the pot at your left and right. But what it also does is it bypasses the tone controls in here because that chip sounds terrible. It's a chip. It's a fixed output, but if you're using it on a system like I'm using it here, then it sounds amazing. Never mind the pop. It's dead quiet. Best mod I've ever done. Hate to say it. Sounds really good. Give me a minute to set it up. Sounds pretty good, guys. I definitely would try it out. Now I got obviously going through a better Class D amp. Oh, I forgot to mention that chip, that Class D chip that's in there. Even at idle, that thing is smoking hot. It's not. Oh, it's right there. It's not going to burn out right away, but it will. Cool. Well, that's it for now, guys. I'll post some more videos once I do some more mods. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take the RCAs and drill 2 holes and just go right off of that instead of pulling these ones out. There's more than enough cabinet room there to add extra RCAs, but every mod I wanted to do is done. It works now with work with an SSD or a mechanical drive. I got an output that bypasses the tone controls because they suck. And it's good. It's a nice little $60 amp. It's going to replace all this stuff here. Really happy with it. Later, guys.